All right, recording in progress. It's Josh and G Sizzle here talking about a very big subject that I deal with and we deal with as coaches with fitness and nutrition with families, uh, husbands, homemakers, moms. And the subject today is building a healthy home. And this is a huge challenge, especially when you're making habit changes. And if you followed any of our content recently, it's the middle of February. If you followed any of our content since the first of the year, I know that a lot of my content has been around building healthy habits, tracking those healthy habits, stacking those habits every month, knowing that one or two habits can't change your life, but stacking 6, 7, 8, or 9 over a few months can drastically change your health. And I mean
Right.
drastically change your health over time. If you're committed to this for 1, 2, 3, 4, this is part of who you are. Okay.
Right.
Big
Right.
part of this is building a healthy home because not only are you changing your life habits, you're changing the habits around you.
Yes.
Right?
And I think that something that's really important to note is that it's much easier to learn these habits now than it is in the future. So if you do have children, start applying these habits now because they're going to take that with them forever. The things that they learn now are the things that they're going to carry into adulthood.
So I deal with a lot of kid nutrition in my job space.
Yeah.
And the very sensitive subject when people talk to me about it is habits are caught, not taught. And I use this subject because this is literally a conversation I had. I had a mom come to me and wanted to know, can you tell little Billy to quit eating hot dogs at night? And I said, well, why are there hot dogs in the home? She says, well, William, my husband, loves hot dogs. And I'm like, all right, repeat what you want. Say that again. As I said, say that again. Hot dogs are in the house because William, your husband, likes hot dogs. So little Billy eats them. My
Right.
guess is if little Billy sees Big Willie eating chicken and rice and salads and making healthy choices, you won't have to tell little Billy to make better food choices. He'll mimic what his father does.
Exactly right. It's so true. Like I've told you this before. I've told so many of my clients this before. The reason I am really good about nutrition now is because it was enforced when I was growing up.
A
And it's
thousand
we
percent.
did we didn't like my parents weren't necessarily overly strict. We weren't like a sugar-free household or anything like that, but majority of my meals were home cooked. The vegetables were always the largest on the plate. Like I grew up in a home that enforced healthy eating.
A
And that is
thousand
why
percent.
today I am a healthy eater because that's how I grew
A
up.
thousand percent. And parents can change that. Now, what's the quote that I just saw? If you didn't come from a healthy household, make sure a healthy household comes from you.
Exactly. Break the
That's
cycle for
powerful.
anything. That applies to everything.
That was
Break the
huge.
cycle with unhealthy eating.
That was huge in my family. We were all active. We
Mm-hmm.
exercised. We ate healthy. We had to eat breakfast in the morning. We had to eat fruits and vegetables. We didn't eat trash. I was allowed to eat some foods like fast foods, but it was a treat. You
Yep.
know, regular soda was a treat. Ice cream was a treat. I had to
Yep.
do all the other things first before I had those, so I didn't lose it in my childhood. Um,
Exactly.
but habits are caught, not taught around the home, 100%.
Right.
And if you want a perfect example of this, my kid walks around my house with his shirt off, flexes in the mirror. It, okay, we all know
But
where
it's
he got
it's
that
so
from.
true.
We all know where he got that from. Give me some grace, right?
Yeah.
But that is so true. So we got 4 things we're going to cover. I think all 4 of these will hit at home for everybody listening. One of these 4 things will hit. We're going to cover having a supportive or non-supportive significant other. Everybody can attest to that. I know every one of my clients can attest to that. Kids and snack foods, sabotaging friends and family, and house boundaries. Okay, we're going to cover those 4. And I always like to say what we're going to cover. So if you're watching this and you make it 2 minutes in, watch the rest of this because we're going to hit home for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Supportive spouse or significant others, nothing makes me angrier than a husband who loves to do the why do you got to eat healthy tonight? We can go get pizza and get some ice cream.
Yeah.
Nothing makes me more angry than, and I'm going to say a woman because I've never had this from a man, from a woman who's busting her ass, who's had 3 kids, takes care of the home, wants to get in shape, and a husband just seems to kind of just not be on board.
Absolutely.
That
It
pisses
is very
me
frustrating. It's 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 super frustrating, and
off.
you have to know too, if this is your partner, it's normally coming from a place of insecurity with them, not because of you. They're insecure that, you're working your butt off and you're eating healthy and they may not be achieving the same results, or maybe that you're getting really hot and they're like, oh shit, I'm not doing that. It's often an insecurity. Pretty much anytime somebody projects an issue onto you, it's an insecurity in them.
And at the same point, I will say this: if you're a significant other and you're really getting on a health kick, it is your time to do it. It might not be
Mm-hmm.
significant other's time to do it, right?
Correct.
um, but there still is temptation that comes around the house. It's the
Absolutely.
sabotaging of your significant other wants to get up at 6 o'clock to go for a 30-minute walk, and you're like, don't do it, stay here, don't do it. Listen, encourage them. They're doing something better for the family, right?
Exactly.
You get in shape and get healthy, everything in your life gets better. You become a better mom, dad, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, employee, employer.
Yeah.
Everything, it's a force multiplier. Everything gets better. Okay.
Yeah. And,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was just going to say it's a it's a tough conversation to have, and it's a tough realization to have too. You have to decide if that partner is the right fit for you. You have to decide if that partner is actually going to be supportive in the things that you're doing or not. And I know it's really easy to get comfortable inside of a relationship that you think is benefiting you. But at the end of the day, if your partner's not supporting you, that's either a conversation you need to have, or it's a conversation that you need to leave, because you need to do the things that are going to be good for you. You don't have to do the things that are good for everybody else.
If
And
you're a
that's just tough.
sure, that's a great significant other. If it's a spouse, it's a little bit more dynamic, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
but one, don't project your healthy eating on somebody else. It's not their time.
Correct.
2, have the conversation. 3, have the discipline. Don't let it cause strife within the home, right? But you need to have the conversation of, I want to get healthy. Will you support me? Yes or no?
Right. Exactly. It doesn't mean they have to be going to the gym with you 5 days a week and eating the same things that you do. But you can have the conversation of like, hey, I'm going to make dinner and I'm going to make myself this. You're welcome to have this, but will you please just support me within this?
Yeah.
And it's just very important. I mean, this is something that takes a lot of support, not just from yourself, but from everybody around you. It's a very hard journey. If
And
you're not
I
surrounding
can
yourself
understand
with people that support you, it's hard.
I can understand how it's hard because so many relationships are built around going out to eat, getting snacks at movies, going to get
Yeah,
drinks at bars with friends, getting a bottle of wine and hanging out at night, and so many things are built around that when that starts to change, it can help. It can be an issue.
absolutely. So I'll tell you something that like really helps me is have that conversation of what are my relationship boundaries with going out and drinking and going out to eat. I love to go out to eat. It's one of my favorite freaking things to do. I enjoy going to restaurants. I enjoy being around a lot of people, but you can still set boundaries inside of that. So maybe as I don't go out to eat, we don't go on date night more than once a week. Or maybe when we do go on date night, we try to choose a really healthy restaurant. We try not to drink more than once a week with date night. We don't go to places that are all about cocktails and food. Maybe we'll go somewhere for a nice like salad or whatever. But those
Yeah,
are conversations that you can have and you guys can pick out together. What are our boundaries? What are the things we like to do? And how can we balance them inside of this?
I no longer buy the we're going out to eat, so I got to eat bad story, right?
No,
I don't buy the only thing.
everywhere's healthy now.
I don't buy the only thing available is fast food, so I had to eat bad story. No, you just made shitty decisions.
Correct.
We'll move on to number
Literally,
two. Go, good, good.
I was about to say, no, literally every restaurant now has healthy options. That is one thing I think this younger generation has done a lot better, is that we're now getting really healthy options back into fast food restaurants. And every single restaurant, there is a salad at any place you go, unless it's an ice cream place. Other than that, I don't want to hear it. I'm the same way. I'm like, if you chose something convenient and bad, that's on you. You
Yeah.
could have chose something convenient and good.
I'll finish the number one topic is if your significant other or spouse wants to make themselves better by getting healthy and making food choices and you sabotage, I kind of think you're a dick. Right.
Yeah, I hate you.
Yeah, I
Hate to
just
say it,
think
but you're
it's
awful.
so that's just a way to just crap on somebody else and just dump on somebody else. It's horrible.
I agree.
Kids, snacks, and
I agree.
foods. Okay, I got a kid. He loves fruit roll-ups. He loves fruit snacks. He loves Doritos. My number one thing that I do is I put all of his snack food, and we have priorities. He's got to eat green beans. If he's going to eat any of those, he's got to eat healthy. There's things he has to eat to build a priority to eat the crappy foods. Okay. I put all of that. My psychological trick on myself is I put all of those on one shelf in the pantry, and that shelf is off limits. If
Yeah.
I it's funny if the Doritos accidentally merge into my shelf because he put them back wrong, I'll smash the whole bag. If it's in his shelf, it's the no if it's the no go zone, it's the no fly zone. You're below hard deck,
Yeah.
Maverick. Like you're below hard deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your butts up to hard deck up here. That's where the foods that I eat are, right? And he
Yep.
has a drawer that's all of his stuff in the fridge. He gets it. I understand snack foods are hard. It comes down to discipline, giving yourself a little bit of trick, but also give yourself a little bit of like, it's not the end of the world,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
handful of Cheez Its of 80 calories, it's not really the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
It's when you're doing it every night and you're smashing the bag. And now you got to go to Publix on a Wednesday because you smashed all your kids' snacks, right? All of that. I understand the temptation. Try the shelf rule, right? Um, that really works for me. And I think the best thing that works for me is buying your kid healthy snacks.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, again, that comes back to what we talked about in the beginning, is build a healthy household from the start. Like, don't let your kid have Oreos and goldfish and shitty snacks all the time. Buy him things, buy her things that are actually good for them. Like those go-go little fruit squeezes.
Yeah, I
I
do
love
that.
those as an adult. They make them as for
Go-Gurts.
adults now,
Yeah, Go-Gurts.
you know?
He has
Yeah.
Go-Gurts. Yeah, Go-Gurts are the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Um, and again, kids will do what they see. If I choose certain snack foods, I've gotten my kid to eat mixed nuts
Yeah.
because I eat mixed nuts and he's hungry and I won't give him snacks. So it's like he'll suck it up and eat mixed nuts. Now he asks for mixed nuts.
Yeah.
Listen, if you can't like kind of mind screw your kid a little bit, right? If your kid's winning the mental battle with you, right, you're losing, right? Um, I think healthy snacks are huge. I think winning the battle with kids and snack foods is huge, but I also understand the temptation of the smell of ranch Doritos getting cracked open. It's unbelievable, right? I'm with
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
I'm um number one and
But I
three.
think the more too that you tell yourself that like this is a special treat for your kid, you're also going to rewire your own brain that, oh, this is just a special treat for me too.
Yeah,
So like we only eat ranch Doritos once a week. That's our special treat. You know,
hey,
it's repetitive thinking all the time.
the shelf thing, the no,
Hmm.
the shelf that's not my shelf has really helped. The
Yeah, I bet.
drawer that's just his drawer has really helped, right? Um, number one and three, I think, go together. Supportive spouses was number one, but sabotaging friends and family. Um, number one is just specific to significant other. Number three is sabotaging friends and family. My experience with this was originally around alcohol when I quit drinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, you get peer pressured into drinking. and it's groups and it's peer pressure and it's uh I'm very much have an antagonist personality. So the more I was peer pressured into do it, the more I enjoyed saying no, just
Yeah.
because I'm such an argumentative person in nature. I
Yeah,
did
I feel like
just
I'm like that too.
yeah, I did. The more they wanted me to do it, the less I wanted to, the more I enjoyed like putting my feet in the ground.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know what you call it. Maybe it's immaturity. I don't know. Right.
I don't
But
know if it's immaturity, but I kind of feel the same way. I'm like, I feel better telling you no because you want me to do it so bad.
yeah.
You
I'm
know?
also the type of
I don't
person
know.
that if the wrong person if I don't like somebody and they get on my nerves and they're like, hey, the sky's blue today, I'm like, no, it's light blue. Like I'm just one of those guys, right? Hey,
Yeah.
I'm just one of those guys.
Yeah.
That stop sign's red. It ain't red. Like I'm just, just one of those guys, right? But sabotaging friends and family is for real. It's really comes from friends. Listen, I have heard this story. You pick 5 girls, and one of them, they all go out, and one of them is a client. This is a real life situation. She was getting in shape. She is in shape. I actually put her picture up recently. When they go out as friends, her normal go out friends, and she loves her friends, it's almost like she's been isolated for exercising, losing weight, making good choices, and almost mocked and a little bit bullied by her
Yeah.
friends because she's choosing not to eat the pasta primavera. She gets a salad with chicken. I mean, she's like, my friends have been a little bit mean since I've gone
Hmm.
on this route, right? And that amazes me coming from people who are your friends.
But again, like I said earlier, it's insecurity. It is insecurity. I went through that a little bit and I had to learn that it was not the choices I was making, it was the choices other people couldn't. And I, I was going to continue to make those decisions because I needed to. I felt better. Whatever they had to say to me, like, I just, that's on you. I can't worry about how I'm making you feel when I'm making a better decision for myself. I'm
When you
not
got in
responsible
shape,
for how you feel.
when you really made and you made that big push around like 24, right?
23. Yeah, 23, 24.
Did you lose
Yeah.
friends?
No, I never lost friends. Um, so like, I mean, when I graduated college, I was really the first one of my friend group to graduate college. Like I had some friends that were younger than me, that had an extra year, and then I had some friends that stayed an extra year. Our lifestyles changed. I had a full-time job, they were still in college. I got a full-time boyfriend, they were still in college, and I made different life decisions. So we saw each other, yes, but we were never not friends.
Mhm.
Um, we were on different life paths at that moment, and they were never mean to me or anything. We just didn't see eye to eye with some things. And I mean, there were definitely times where I felt pressured to drink and go out on a Wednesday night when I'm like, I have to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But we've all gotten to a place now where we're older and more serious, like in more serious relationships, and we're all back to that level of like we're all on the same page. We all work out very consistently. We all eat very, very healthy. We just had that little, like, I guess, I don't know what to call it, little pause maybe where we were just on different life paths for a moment. It lasted like a year and then it was totally fine.
I think, we reference atomic habits all the time. And it
Yeah.
says your environment is so huge in changing habits. If you
Yeah.
can't change people, you need to change the people.
Yeah.
Can't change the people that are around you, change the people you're around.
Yeah.
And your environment matters. If you're an alcoholic, don't go to the bar and hang out. Okay.
Yep.
Um, if you hang around healthy people, I bet you probably get healthy. If you hang
Yeah.
around people who smoke cigarettes, I bet you end up smoking cigarettes, right? Here's the hard part, I think, for a lot of people. They want to get healthy. They want to be around healthy people. They want to change their environment, but it's their friends. It's who they like being around. It's
Right.
relationships they built. Um, they go to a gym, they get gym friends, they hang around gym friends. I mean, through your time, I understand relationships are very important to people. I'm very fluid in my relationships as far as really close relationships.
Hmm.
I'm a little bit more introverted than you are.
A
So
little.
trying to be nice about it. But man, when I set goals and my environment doesn't match those goals, I've never had a hard time putting a hard stop.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like
Yeah.
that. You might be
Right. So
watching this
like
video and you might like not be like that.
I love all of my friends so very much, but I've always been the type of person that has very, like a lot of friend groups because I have different needs from each group. My college girls are my entire world, and we're, like I said, we're back on like this, we all do the same things again, but I know those are my girls I take trips with, we go out to eat, we drink, like those are my girls. I have another group that's like we hike and we ski and we are very active, and then I have another group that's like my gym group, and I just think that's very important to find different communities that you really appreciate for different reasons. Like not every group of friends is going to have the same needs and wants that you do, so find a group that does.
Mhm.
I think it's very, very valuable to have multiple friend groups that are going to see those needs. Like I have some girlfriends that, like my college girls, I have some girlfriends that are not going to go ski a mountain. They just won't do it. That's fine. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
So I will find the friends that do it, you know?
But I think it's
So
also
yeah,
important to have the ability to cut loose the people that are dragging you down,
correct.
right?
Or have the conversation necessary of like with yourself, know that, this is just my group of girlfriends that I go out with. And that's really it. And I still love them and I want to be around them, but maybe it's less. Maybe it's not, who I fully rely on. I just see them once a week or once a month for whenever we want to go out and have a good time. That's
Mhm.
totally fine too. That's a balanced lifestyle,
Mhm.
you know? So,
No, I get it. I had a conversation with a really, really good friend that we both know who had to have the conversation with a friend who's going in a different direction. And that conversation had to be around limiting the time they go because the amount of time they were around because of the path that person was headed down. And they did it in a very
yeah.
loving, caring way, like a caring way.
Mm-hmm.
And some people need that. But I do think you should have the ability to cut loose the friends who, first off, if anybody in your life doesn't appreciate and want to support you becoming healthy, there's a problem. That's like supporting you not becoming smarter. That's like
That's,
supporting you
I
not
think,
making more money.
that's what I want people to compare this to having a new hobby that you really enjoy, or getting married, or getting pregnant, or like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If somebody is not supportive of that, like that's an issue.
Yeah, I
If
question who they
somebody's not
are. Yeah.
supportive of that hobby that's
Yeah.
bettering you, that's an issue.
Yeah. I question who you are. If a friend comes, if I had a friend, if I had anybody that came to me, it could just be an acquaintance. Hey man, I'm trying to make this change to become a better person. Can you help me out? Bro, I'd be so all into that person. I'd be so all in. I would, if somebody trusted me to help them become a better human being, I'm so loyal in that environment. It might not be something I want to do.
Yeah.
I would be so encouraging and I would be that,
Yeah.
I would be with them the whole time.
Yeah.
Number four, because we're running out of
Well,
time.
let's talk about family that sabotages, because we
Okay.
really just talked about friends.
Okay.
Um, but this can also relate into number four because it's going to be setting household boundaries.
Yes.
Um, so with extended family you don't see very often. I think it kind of relates back with, if it's not their time to get healthy, don't hold it in front of their face when it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. Um, but also know that like if your extended family is not supporting you, that's an issue, and you can cut off extended family if you need to. But I do want to talk about the client I was talking about earlier.
Yes.
Her mother lives with her for part of the year, um, and Her mom likes to bake, cook. It's normally not good food. It's pretty bad for you typically. Josh brought up the point that it's normally a form of love. I completely agree. I don't think it's ever a form of malice when somebody cooks for you. But this is when you have to have household boundaries in your own home. And it may be a tough conversation filled with lots of feelings, and the other person may not understand why you're upset, but you have got to have the balls to set rules in your house. And that is for your own good. So, it may be you can only cook something once a week. I don't know what that might look like for you, but you have got to take charge of your household. This is what needs to happen because
That's your
this is my
environment.
home.
That's your environment.
This is my home.
That's
Yep.
your
This
environment.
is your safe space.
Yeah.
Like your home is something that you want to come home to that's organized, that's clean, that feels good, that you know that you can fully relax and do the things that you need to do. If there's chaos in your home, that's not going to happen. It's just going to stress you out even more. And a lot of people don't realize that when you have a stressed out home, it is going to reflect in every piece of your life, every bit.
Oh man, that's good. It's a good piece of advice across the board, really.
I'm telling you, like when I got out of college and stopped being a little shithead and I started making my bed every day, eating breakfast, drinking water, living in a clean space, my productivity changed entirely. Absolutely entirely. When I got on like a set routine, had a clean space to work in, a clean space to live in, it cleared my mind and it made me more productive.
Wow, that's a life lesson, right? So that
Telling you.
boils down to personal responsibility, accountability, and being a grown-up.
Correct.
And I think, Gray, I bet there are a lot of people that you knew in college that are your age that have still yet to be grown-ups.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
And it sucks to see. It really does suck to see like those friends that you love dearly that are not grown up. It really does. Because like, yeah, they're fun to go out with. You see them at a wedding and you're like, you are still so much fun.
Yeah.
But you know that they're going to wake up on Sunday and keep doing that. Whereas you're going to wake up on Sunday and be like, all right, I got to get back to being a normal human being.
Yeah. I got to clean my house. I got to make my bed. I got to brush my teeth. I got responsibilities. I got phone calls to make. Right.
Absolutely.
I think
and that is where I definitely value my friends now. Like we are very on top of holding each other accountable for doing those things, for being a human being, for saying like, oh, like let's maybe not go and get a really shitty breakfast. Let's go and get a walk in and like get a smoothie and, be human beings again.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. Like if I've had a lot of clients really just change the organization of their home, and it has done wonders, absolutely wonders, because you just want to exist in a clean space. It makes a world of difference. Get rid of shit you don't need. Set boundaries for your home.
Right.
I'm a really good purger. If you'd like me to come over and purge, I will. Literally everything I own is in the back of my truck. I'm happy to.
That is a very
but it makes a difference.
Getting rid of things you don't need, including those habits you don't need.
Yep.
Being responsible, being a grown-up, setting household boundaries. Man, there's a lot of people from a life lesson standpoint that don't take on that much responsibility time in their life, and they don't get their shit right. And
if I could tell you to start one thing, it would be to clean your home. If you could start one thing now, before exercise, before eating right, clean your home. Set boundaries in your home.
My one thing about being a grown-up that I talk to people about is grown-ups really don't stay up past 11.
Yeah.
So when I start talking to people about health and nutrition, we always address sleep. And when I hear people are like, yeah, I get up, I stay up until like 12, 1. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
yeah. Why are you up that late?
Go to bed. Go to bed at 10:30. What do you do? Like, be a grown-up.
It makes a world of difference.
Be a grown-ups and responsible people don't stay up late.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. You go to bed early.
I haven't been the last few weeks, but we were in bed last night at 9:15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you
But
go to
but again, like my friend group, my circle, I'm back in Missoula now, and like my friend Maggie here, we decided to do a 6:30 a.m. hot yoga class. Like I'm just thankful for people that are like, let's go to bed at 9:30, let's get up at 6, we're gonna go do hot yoga. Like that makes a difference. It makes a difference.
when you lived in Columbia, you shut life off after 8 o'clock.
Oh hell yeah.
You turn your
My
phone.
phone
You're
was
done. Yeah,
down.
you're done. It's
Yeah.
computer down, phone down, 8 o'clock.
And it'll probably get back to that way. And I was talking to Maggie about this last night too. A lot of that has to do with being in a relationship. I think, when you're single and you're looking for attention, it's much harder to shut things off. And I don't say looking for attention in a bad way. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying you want people around you. You're by yourself. I'm excited to like be back in that mindset of like, oh no, like my phone will be down at 8 o'clock. I'm in a relationship. So like, I want to be having dinner with you and going to bed. It's just much better for me personally. But no, I mean, it's true. Like, I hate talking to people after 9:30. I'm like, go away.
Well, we're gonna get this video up. We're about to run out of time. Let's get it up. If you have questions, comments, we'll post it on YouTube, post in some other areas, post it in all our groups, and we'll all be talking soon.
Yeah.